All right, I think we're live, so go right ahead.
All right, good morning from the Potawatomi Zoo. I'm Josh Sisk, the Executive Director, and I've never been so excited to be sitting on a huge boulder of rocks. Today we are bringing you live from the giraffe exhibit that we're building here at the zoo, and we are so excited to show you guys some of the work that's happening around here. It's actually starting to look like a giraffe exhibit, so I kind of want to give you guys a tour of the barn, talk about all the rocks that are coming in. We're going to have this whole water feature, a watering hole pond that's going to be made out of all these boulders and everything that are coming to the zoo. One of the interesting things, if you come to the zoo, you see a lot of rocks around the side, is giraffes, as big as they are, they actually cannot maneuver through rocks very well. So you can see like this island, we wanted to protect these trees. These are all boulders on the side. The giraffes will come up here. They won't try to climb this or anything. These trees kind of protect these trees up here just to kind of get some greenery into the exhibit and everything. Over here to your left is the feeding platform, so there'll be stairs that come up. Up there where the majority sign is, that's where the platform's going to be. So we're actually standing where giraffes would be in the 2.5 acre savanna. So it's pretty exciting. But so giraffes will just be walking right up here and going up to the feeding station. We are actually going to take you inside the barn now because it's pretty exciting. They're starting to get the color on. The windows are going to be coming soon, the metal, but it's all starting to come together. So let's walk up here to the giraffe barn.
Gotta wear our hard hats.
Yeah, we got to put our hard hats on. Any questions so far coming in?
Any questions so far?
All right.
If they have questions.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to keep sending questions and we'll be glad to answer those for you. So this is always kind of interesting when you look at the barn. These are actually giraffe doors. Even though they look really, really thin, they're actually, giraffes are thin. They're very tall, but they're thin, so you don't really have to have big doorways. So we would right now be a giraffe walking into the giraffe barn. So these are 18-foot tall doors. You can see how tall they are. And then you would walk in, just watch this rebar here. This is going to be the inside of the giraffe barn. So with the public, you'll be able to come into this area right over here. This will be a visitor area. And you'll be able to see the giraffes in their communal stall. So you will come into this visitor area. This will be all glass. Giraffes are in here, and you can walk right inside here, and you're going to be able to feed giraffes standing right here as they come up to you. So it's going to be a really cool experience. It's going to be unique to this region that you can actually feed the giraffes in the barn even in the wintertime. So, but just look, 26 foot tall in the front. I think it's about 24 foot in the back. The entire width of this is just for giraffes. Next to us is a wing for zebra, ostriches, any kind of antelope we want to mix with the giraffe. About 10,000 square foot total. And this barn is going to be state of the art. It's going to have windows on both sides giving natural UV light. This whole communal stall will be natural substrate, so they're not on concrete in the wintertime. The stalls that they have on the ends will actually have rubber flooring that'll help with their feet. There'll be scales in here, air exchange every 20 minutes. We're going to be pretty proud of, animal welfare is our top priority here at the zoo, and this is going to be a state-of-the-art facility, which we're really excited about.
Okay, so we have some questions. If you
Yeah.
want to come back out, then we can go look at the if you're here.
Yeah.
So someone asked, will there be other animals in the savannah?
Yeah, the question was, will there be other animals in the savannah? Yes, we're going to have definitely zebras and ostriches. I'd love to have some little guinea fowls running around. Believe it or not, even though you see domestic guinea fowl on the farm, there's actually wild guinea fowl that live in Africa that live on the savannah. We'll also have cranes, I'm hoping, some like crown cranes or some storks. So it's going to be a mixed species for sure.
Someone else asked, any idea when we'll be ready to open?
So this barn should be done by June, but unfortunately we probably won't have giraffes here at the zoo until early fall, is my hope, early to middle fall, but we'll definitely have them by the end of the year. Gift of lights, you'll be able to come here, be able to see giraffes inside the barn, so we'll get it all wrapped up this summer.
Do you know how many giraffes we're getting?
Right now we're going to start with 3, but this barn can hold up to 6 to 8 giraffes if we want to.
Someone asked if we will have pelicans.
If we will have pelicans. We'll see. There is going to be a water feature in the exhibit. We might be able to swing some pelicans.
Tell us about the water feature. So tell me what's going on with the water feature.
Yeah, so we're going to have, it's a 150-foot long waterfall that starts at the top of the feeding platform. and works its way down to a watering hole. The whole goal of this new area and becoming a modern zoo is that you don't see animals through chain link fencing. So there's going to be no point in this exhibit where you're looking at a giraffe through a fence. And that's what that stream serves. That stream's actually the barrier. So it'll be exhibit, this beautiful rock work that's the stream, and then the public fence that you walk along.
Someone asked if you'll be able to take pictures of kids feeding the giraffe.
Yeah, you'll be able to. If you've been to the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo or some of the local zoos that do the giraffe feeding experience, it'll be very similar to that. Well, you'll get the lettuce leaf, go out there, and you'll be able to take the pictures.
Do the giraffes have to be inside during the winter, and why?
Yeah, so giraffes, they are a little cold sensitive, so that's why it's so important to build such a state-of-the-art facility. Not something you just want to put up a pole barn for, but they do very well. Believe it or not, they are actually very horse mentality-like. They love, they're very stall mentality. They do very well in stalls. They do inside. It's funny, is a lot of giraffe people will tell you, give them all this space, and it's kind of actually hard to get them out of the barn because they actually really like their barns.
Like the okapi.
It's very much like the okapi. And if anyone's a horse owner, you know the same. It's kind of they call it. It's kind of a stall. It's a safety thing for them, so they actually do very well in the barns.
How will we be doing medical care? Someone asked if we have chutes for medical care.
We will. So we have what's called a tamer. It's a chute that we'll be able to walk the giraffes down inside. They'll be able to get a weight on them. And one of the important parts with giraffes is foot care. So the keepers will be training the giraffes to present their feet. They'll be doing foot care. We were just able to get an X-ray machine for being able to do X-rays of their feet. Yeah, so what's that?
A mobile X-ray.
Yeah, a mobile X-ray machine that we can bring to the barn. So vet care will be top essential for this. So
someone asked about baby giraffes, so maybe just talk about the SSP and how that works with the giraffes.
Yeah, so being an accredited zoo, we don't buy and sell any of our animals. They're all part of breeding programs for sustainability of the population. So we're working with what's called the Species Survival Plan for giraffes, and we got a recommendation to get males to start. That's usually a common thing, to get a bachelor group of males, see how your new exhibit's working out, get them accustomed, and then we'll work towards getting females that we can actually be able to breed in the future. But we won't be starting off with that. That's a whole nother thing to get into. So you want to kind of get everything established, get your staff trained on the current giraffes and how to care for animals like that.
Have the space for it, right?
But we definitely have the space for it. We will be a breeding facility someday.
Well, what kind of food do the giraffes eat?
So what kind of food? So we are going to be reaching out to you as our community, because one of the top food items that they need is what we call browse, and it's just branches from trees. They love elm, they love mulberry, locust, but they're a ruminant, so they, sorry, they're cutting something over here. Yeah, so we'll walk this way. So it's important that we are able to go out to the community and cut this browse for them. We'll actually even have a walk-in freezer where we'll freeze browse during the winter time. Otherwise, they'll get a pellet called here. Let's walk up on the feeding platform. We'll be getting a pellet that's kind of a horse pellet that they get about a half a gallon a bucket of that pellet. They get carrots, they get lettuce, and they get hay. Alfalfa hay is their main. Vegetarians, 100% vegetarian. So we're standing up on the feeding platform right now. So you can kind of look. This is where you'd walk out to where the giraffes are going to come up to. It gives you a good bird-eye view of the barn and how it's all coming together.
It's got some new paint on it, right?
Yeah, it's got some new coloration on it. If you'd been here at the last week when the zoo was open, it would kind of look like a concrete bunker. So I kept assuring everyone, I swear it's going to soften up. It'll have kind of an espresso-colored metal around the windows, and then that'll just be a band of windows along the top. So lots of sunlight will be able to go into the barn.
Someone asked if the animals that were taking up the space got moved elsewhere in the zoo.
Yeah, so this was an Australia area before. We only had 5 kangaroos, so it was kind of underutilized. It was a huge space, 2.5 acres. So we decided to move the kangaroos to the front of the gator deck. We made a nice little Australia area for them. I actually think it's better. I mean, you get to see it's a good viewing spot. You can stand up and see them over the deck. But yeah, we definitely still have the kangaroos here at the zoo and an emu. So.
Is this the first time we've ever had giraffes here at the zoo?
Yes, it is. This is the first time the Potawatomi Zoo has had giraffes here at the zoo. I hear some people have tried to correct me and said they remember as a kid they saw a giraffe here. I believe that a circus came through many years ago, and there was a giraffe here for a while. But it's the first time that we've ever had any kind of exhibit like this of giraffe.
How do they do training? Is it target training or is it some other kind of training?
Yeah, so they do a lot of target training. Target training is they have a stick, and the animals know that wherever they lead, they can lead with this stick, and then they get a treat. But yeah, it's all food reward, so everything's positive reinforcement. So they'll learn that if they stand in a certain spot, the keeper will be feeding them treats, and then that way it'll allow the keeper to get down and be able to work on their feet. Giraffes are so big and their necks are so long. Doing anesthesia on a giraffe is very, very dangerous, so it's something you want to avoid. So, you know, a lot of animals, if we needed to do a hoof trim, we could, you know, put them under. That's not really a thing that you do with giraffes unless you just absolutely have to. So that training is going to be essential for their care.
And how do we transport giraffes? Someone asked if they come by train, which are probably not. But
yeah, I think we see in movies a lot the train going down the railroad with a giraffe neck sticking out of the top of it. I don't think that's not the case. There's a few haulers in the country. It's actually almost looks like a horse trailer with a hydraulic lift top on it. So it raises up, the giraffe can walk on the trailer, and then they are able to haul them. Giraffe don't like to be unsteady on their feet, so usually when the trailer's moving, they'll lay down, and they actually travel very well. They travel very similar to a horse.
Are there other new animals coming to the zoo this year?
So not this year, but you guys, this Potawatomi Zoo, we are under a revitalization period right now. It's an extremely exciting time at the zoo. You're going to see more change happening over the next 3 to 4 years than you've ever seen probably at the Potawatomi Zoo. We've got plans for finishing the lion habitats part of this. So we'll have a state-of-the-art lions. Next project working on tigers. We still have plans on bringing in bears, a new concession area, really just upgrading what we currently have and making this zoo truly a modern facility. So we're pretty excited. So but this is the first change.
Yeah, so I think we have like some new animals in some of our existing
we do have some new stuff. Sand cats came to the Learning Center, which are new to the zoo. People are loving those. We have genets. We have some bush babies maybe coming out on exhibit soon. So yeah, there'll be some smaller stuff like that.
Somebody else asked, any update on the lions, and will the chimps be leaving the zoo?
Yeah, so the chimps actually have unfortunately, so they actually already left. So the standards for AZA zoos now that chimps need to live in big social groups. So one of the recommendations is that the chimps went to a bigger zoo that had a really nice social group, so they're now with other females at another zoo. So even though we knew we gave them good quality of care, it's important for them to be in those social troops. So they've actually already left the zoo. So this year you'll see maybe the lemurs or maybe the howler monkeys out there, and then hopefully by fall we'll start the construction on the new lion habitat.
People have asked about a bunch of different animal species. Maybe just talk about how we're going to be updating the master plan and releasing that later this year, next year.
Yeah, so as you guys know, if any of you are familiar with the zoo, we did our master plan. Believe it or not, it seems like it's new. It's actually about 6 years old, and it's pretty common about every 5 years to look at that master plan and revise it. We've already kind of changed a lot of things of like where the giraffe habitat's going to be, and it's just that all comes with different leadership and different vision of what the zoo is and different needs. So yeah, we're going to be working on that next phase of that master plan, and I'm doing just some revisions to it so that we know what the next steps are of the zoo.
All right, if you want to wrap it up.
All right, so that is our, we're going to keep bringing you some live shots from the giraffe exhibit as it advances. I was just really excited today because I know I'm a major nerd, but when rocks start coming to the zoo, it's been amazing. We've had some people actually donate these rocks to us. The outpour of generosity that's been for this habitat and the excitement has just been remarkable. These are very, very expensive rocks. We need a lot of them. And it's been great to see the generosity. So I wanted to share that, and then just the excitement of seeing the barn. So we thank all of our donors and the community support on this. If you are still interested in the giraffe exhibit, there's a lot of information on our website. You can go on there. There's a beautiful art installation that's going to be in the visitor center that you can have recognition on. So we'll just keep keeping you guys up to date. And if you come to the zoo, the nice thing about this exhibit, it's really not affecting the operations of the zoo. You still have the normal visit. You can see it's in the exhibit, so it's not a big construction zone. So it's been kind of exciting just to come to the zoo and just see the changes happening with this exhibit without having your day affected.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys. We'll talk to you soon.